I wish I had a good joke this morning. I didn't. But good morning, Ellen Ching, Boards and Commissions Administrator. Today, I'm pleased to introduce Dan Giovanni. Dan was born and raised in Antioch, California. After graduating from Antioch High School, Dan continued his education at University of California, Berkeley, earning a bachelor's and a master's of science in mechanical engineering. Dan started his working career as the head of the thermal section at Kaiser Aluminum Research Center. The center was funded by $40 million by electric utility companies in North America on initiatives in environmental control and protections. After 4 years, Dan founded the Electric Power Technologies, EPT, Inc., and was the president and principal consultant for 20 years with a staff of 22 engineers. In this capacity, he provided consulting services on operational, environmental, and performance issues throughout the electric power industries in North America and Europe. A primary business focus of EPT was air emissions control for oil-fired steam electric generating units. The Hawaii Electric Light Company, Inc. was a client of EPT. From 1986, Dan traveled to Hawaii and lived there part-time. In 2001, Dan sold his business, moved to Hawaii, and became the manager of the production department, where he was responsible for operation and maintenance of generating facilities and system operation on Hawaii Island. He also had lead responsibility for negotiation and administration of power purchase agreements. In 2006, Dan was offered a position with the Hawaiian Electric Company as the manager of the generation department. He accepted with the condition that he would not live on Oahu, and promptly moved to Kauai, where he commuted on weekends. As the manager, he was responsible for the operation and maintenance of power generation facilities on Oahu. In 2010, he was promoted to Vice President of Energy and Delivery, and in 2013, he was promoted to Senior Vice President of Operations. In this capacity, he was responsible for the physical and operational integrity of the electric transmission and distribution systems, power generation at 4 generating stations, system operation, fuel procurement, energy resource acquisition, and engineering and planning activities on Oahu. He oversaw approximately $600 million a year in engineering and maintenance projects and managed a staff of 1,400 union and non-union personnel. In 2015, Dan retired. In retirement, Dan became active with several nonprofit organizations and their board of directors, like the American Red Cross, as president of the Kauai Humane Society, member of the Hōʻike Community Foundation, and director for the renovation of the Kaua Union Church. For more than the past 5 years, he has also served on the Hawaii Land Use Commission as a member, as well as the chair for 2 years. When I asked Dan about traveling, he told me that as a young kid, he wanted to see the world. Through his work, he's traveled to every state in the nation and 35 countries, including living in Italy. He and his wife, Naomi, continue to travel to visit his son in San Francisco and his daughter in New York. One of their favorite destinations is traveling to Japan at least twice a year. On their next trip, they're planning on exploring Kanazawa. The Planning Commission is one of the most arduous commissions. The meetings are long and controversial. The preparation of homework can number in the hundreds of pages, and commissioners are on occasion sworn at and unjustly accused of all manner of misdeeds. Dan's qualifications and experience is unmatched, and I'm extremely grateful for his willingness to devote his time and talent to the Planning Commission in the business position.
Thank you, Ellen. Dan, anything to add?
I do. So first I'd like to thank Ellen from Boards and Commissions for facilitating this nomination. I'd like to thank the mayor for the nomination. to the council. I'd like to say good morning, Chair Raposo and council members. So I'm looking forward to continuing my activities in land use. You know, if you go back as few as 8 years ago, I had almost no experience in land use and didn't appreciate how important it is to our communities and the state of Hawaii in general. But I joined the State Land Use Commission in 2019, and I've served there 7 years as a volunteer. And it's been an incredible education for me, and I've gained a very significant appreciation for how important land use issues are to our communities. So I have served my term. At this moment in time, I'm still a commissioner on the State Land Use Commission. I'm a carryover candidate, and under all circumstances, I'll be finished in in about 1 year from now. But I have to share with you that activities at the state level on land use have really slowed down. We haven't seen a land use petition for a district boundary amendment in over 18 months. Wow. Haven't seen a petition for a special use permit in about 18 months. And so the activity level is very low. And meanwhile, I look at what's happening at the county levels, not only the county of Kauai, but all the counties. And the action in land use is at the county level. That's where things are happening. That's where important decisions are being made. And so as I look forward, I'm eager to continue my involvement in helping to make important and informed and legal land use decisions, and to do that for the area where I live and hope to finish my life, which is Kauai. I've been here since 2006. I found a home. You know, as Ellen said, I was a traveler for 35 years, all over the place. Didn't have a place to lay my head for more than a few months at a time. But in 2006, I found Kauai, and I found home, and this is where I'll be. So I'm looking forward to continuing my service in land use decision-making, and hopefully I can do that for the Planning Commission here on Kauai.
Thank you, Dan. And yeah, thank you for agreeing to volunteer. Your resume is impressive. Your commitment to this community is without dispute. I did have a question, though. Your application says that you mentioned it as well, that your term expired at the State Land Use Commission, but you're on holdover?
Yes, so I started in 2019 when I was nominated by Governor Ige to complete the term of somebody who had to leave early. So I served approximately 2 years, and then Governor Ige nominated me for another 4-year term. So that's 6 years. So that ended about a year ago, and then Governor Green has not yet nominated a new, either has a choice to renominate me for a 2-year period for an 8-year max, or just let me run it out, or nominate somebody else. So I serve at his pleasure as a holdover candidate. So if I'm, approved to go on the County Planning Commission, I would relinquish my time, my remaining 12 months on the state level.
That was going to be my next question. Is I didn't think you could be on the State Land Use Commission.
No, can do both.
Okay, so should you be confirmed, then you would step down from the State Land Use?
Yes, and just for your information, I've already informed the Executive Director of the State Land Use Commission that I've applied for this position, and I've asked him to inform his superior, who's Jimmy Tokioka at DBED, and so they are aware of the process, where I stand in the process.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Giovanni? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Giovanni, for being willing to serve. As Ellen mentioned, this is a very difficult kind of role at times with conflicting, desires for what the future of Kauai looks like. The importance of the Planning Commission cannot be understated, and the future of Kauai really depends on the decisions that I think it's one of the most important commissions we have. And it's a struggle in all things for us to balance how we address affordable housing needs and how we meet the needs of local families that have really been pushed out, which is a huge priority of our constituents. And at the same time, keeping Hōʻike and keeping agricultural lands, and the same reason you didn't want to move to Oahu. So keeping Hōʻike with that spirit. And I just wonder how you feel about navigating that and what that looks like and what your values are around the preservation of that character and way of life, while you also navigate the difficulties of us needing, appropriate expansion for local families.
So I'm going to answer that in a couple of parts. First of all, I want to acknowledge the perspective that you just shared in the introduction to your question. It's almost the answer I would give you back, is we have to take great care in balancing the need for preserving our values on this island, and values that I've come to know and experience and love myself, with the need to continue to develop and have a commerce on this island that can support an economy on this island that can support the people who live here. Balancing those things when you're making land use decisions for small and large developments is not all that easy. First of all, I would always respect what I call the laws of the land. And so that any significant petition that comes before the Planning Commission, whether it be at the state level or at the county level, we have to respect that. So a kapakai analysis is critical. Respecting the water issues in the public trust doctrine is essential. Being respectful of HRS 343 and all of the environmental requirements as well. So what I've learned is that you cannot make quick decisions. You have to make educated decisions, one that will stand the test of time and stand the test of challenge. And when you make a controversial decision and you do it in a manner that short circuits consideration of those applicable rules and laws, oftentimes in this state it's easily challenged, and it results in, at a minimum, in significant delays. So you got to be real careful how you proceed and be well informed, and then you can make a balanced decision. And I'll try to do my best to do that. I've done that it's the way I've guided my decision making at the state level, and I would hope to carry that forward here.
Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Giovanni?
I just have a comment.
Go ahead.
So I am really thrilled to see you in this position. You and I have worked together for many different boards and topics for probably at least 8 years. You've been so helpful and so perceptive, and I would say really good at being able to, more than read the room, read the community and what's needed. So I have a lot of faith in you. I've also really appreciated the number of meetings that I have been in at the Land Use Commission. I feel like you're very qualified for this. And what I want to just really acknowledge is when you were like second in line or just before, we had Jonathan Scherer who was in there. And Jonathan Scherer is so great at education, and so I've been there when Jonathan Scherer has done so much for understanding the history of Hawaii prior to statehood, understanding the importance of respecting at a genuine core level the history that the Hawaiian Lahui has brought forward. And it's when he was in the leadership position, it was like going to school in there. So very, very good. And you were clearly somebody he had a lot of confidence in. And, I watch your participation in the decision making. So you asked really excellent questions. And I have a lot of confidence in you that you are going to be very balanced and put the future and our needs here for our younger generation strong and respecting what has been and needs to continue to perpetuate. So I feel really, really confident that he would be excellent and especially in the business position, your engineering background and all of that. Excellent.
Thank you, Commissioner, Council Member.
Thank you. Mr. Connoisseur?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for being willing to volunteer. I think Planning Commission is probably the most difficult commission to be on island, and I really get worried about, are we going to get planning commissioners that want to volunteer? Because as Ellen said, the public can be quite harsh on them, and they're there volunteering, they're trying to make the best decision they can, and we really need to find just good people that down to earth, fair and reasonable, and I know Dan to be that, so I'm glad you're willing to put your feet in the fire there, and yeah, I mean it's a breath of fresh air to have you there, because I really get concerned about us filling planning commission spots, because people just don't treat them well, and it's a very important position. It's a volunteer position that you guys spend time on, reading up on issues, and I just appreciate you for being willing to step up. So I'll be more than happy to support you on the work comes out.
Thank you, Council Member. And I got pretty thick skin, so I think I can tolerate that. But I also I meant to say, and I want to say now, that I think this county is blessed by having had a very strong planning department in producing plans, general plan, community plans that we can rely on to help guide us. Other counties don't have that position. I really think Kauai stands apart in that respect, and it's going to make the job a little bit, not easier, but a little bit more straightforward as we make our decisions.
Thank you. Mr. Cavallo?
Yeah, and known you for a long time, and really appreciate you and the work that you've done. And I know you bring a wealth of understanding and commitment and dedication to the table. And so I look forward to, your presence, and just thanking you for stepping up, man. I mean, there's been many different issues that have, addressed all of us in general terms, but in speaking specifically on this area, you bring a wealth of understanding and knowledge. So I'm happy that you step into the plate on this end.
Thank you.
And at the same time, knowing what understanding you have. And so you'll lay it out, and then as a team, make the final decision. So mahalo and thank you.
Mahalo. Thank you, Council Member.
Anyone else? If not, thank you again, Dan. Obviously, we'll be supporting the nomination. I think you'd be a great addition to that commission. And based on what I've heard so far, nothing is going to be final until the next council meeting when we actually approve the resolution. But I would probably call your executive director and let him know and start looking.
Okay.
All righty.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'll call a meeting back to order. Let's just do the consent calendar, and then we can we'll go into executive session.
Chair, item on the consent calendar for receipt C2026-25.
Can I get a motion to receive?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. With that, we have an executive session agenda item today that needs to be heard or needs to be dealt with before we entertain the bill. And Councilmember Cowden requested the executive session, and she has some National Association of Counties meetings that she has to attend to that are very important. So if there are no objection, I'm going to ask that we take the executive session out of order so we can get that out of the way, so we can proceed with the meeting uninterrupted going forward. So with that, can you read us into the executive session?
On page 4, ES 1157, pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statute Sections 92-4, 92-5A4, and Kauai County Charter Section 3.07E, on behalf of the Council, the Office of the County Attorney requests an executive session with the Council to provide a briefing, discussion, and consultation regarding proposed draft bill number 2981, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 5A, Kauai County Code 1987 as amended, relating to real property tax. This briefing and consultation involves a consideration of the powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and or liabilities of the Council and the County as they relate to this agenda item.
Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Get a motion is to go into executive session. Is anyone in the audience wishing to testify? Was there any further discussion?
Simply about the executive
Correct. Okay, thank you. And so again, as I stated earlier, I anticipate about a 30-minute executive session. So if I could please ask your indulgence so we can take care of that. With that, the motion is to go into executive session. Roll call.
Councilmember Bolson.
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho.
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden.
Aye.
Councilmember Holland.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro.
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i. Council Chair Pozo.
Aye.
7 ayes.
With that, we will be in recess. Please reconvene in executive session. Okay, call the meeting back to order. Thank you for your patience. Can we have the next item, please?
Chair Tyler is gonna come out of.
Oh, okay. With that, the rules are suspended. Mr. County Attorney?
Good morning, everyone. The council has concluded its Tyler Saito, County Attorney. The council has concluded its executive session in agenda item ES 1157. Council has consulted with its attorney for the proposed reasons stated on the agenda. There is nothing to disclose, as disclosure would frustrate the purpose of the executive session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, can we have the next item, please?
Chair, on page 2, communications, C2026-26, communication from the fire chief requesting council approval to accept unspecified future obligation terms and indemnification provisions contained in the Cradle Point end user agreement, which will provide secure cellular connectivity for fire department vehicles supporting automatic vehicle location and related vehicle communications by enabling transmission from vehicle location and system data.
Move to approve. Okay. Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-27, communication from the fire chief requesting council approval of the indemnification provision contained in the Carasoft Technology Corporation contract, the authorized seller for First Due for the implementation of the First Due records management system, which is necessary to maintain compliance with the National Fire Incident Reporting System and to support the transition to the National Emergency Response Information System, providing improved data accuracy, operational efficiency, and secure cloud hosting.
Move to approve. Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next item, please.
On page 3, C2026-28, communication from the fire chief requesting council approval of the indemnification provision contained in the Carasoft Technology Corporation contract, the authorized reseller of the Clarion events for training content related to the First Due records management system, which is necessary to maintain compliance with the National Fire Incident Reporting System and to support the transition to the National Emergency Response Information System, providing improved data accuracy, operational efficiency, and secure cloud hosting.
Move to approve. Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-29, communication from Ka'aina Hull, Clerk of the Planning Commission, transmitting for council consideration a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 8, Article 27, Kauai County Code 1987 as amended, relating to shoreline setback and coastal protection.
Move to receive.
Second.
Moved and seconded. This is the memo that is a companion to the bill. If there is someone that wants to testify in the bill now, I'll accept it. If not, the motion is to receive. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-30, communication from the Director of Parks and Recreation requesting council approval of the indemnification clause contained in the Wall Connector Building Services Agreement with Tesla Incorporated, which will allow the county to charge customers a fee for the use of county-owned Tesla electric vehicle charging stations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next item, please.
Next item is a claim, C2026-31, communication from the county clerk transmitting a claim filed against the county of Kauai by Turban Chu Height as subrogate for Melvin Sewell for personal injuries and medical bills pursuant to Section 23.06 Charter of the County of Kauai.
Move to refer to the county attorney for disposition and report back as necessary.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
Sure, next item is resolution number 2026-02, resolution confirming mayoral appointment to the Fire Commission for Jenny Jahanovich.
Move to approve. Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan.
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho. Aye. Councilmember Cowden is excused. Councilmember Holland.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro.
Aye.
Councilmember Kuli'i.
Aye.
Council Chair Opozo.
Aye.
6 ayes, 1 excused.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item on page 4, a bill for first reading, proposed draft bill number 2969, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 8, Article 27, Kauai County Code 1987 as amended, relating to shoreline setback and coastal protection. This item was referred to the Planning Commission on July 16, 2025.
Move to receive.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? With that, I will suspend the rules.
Is this the only time, or will this come up again at the end of the meeting?
No, this is the time. Go ahead.
Just to clarify for the public on this is the bill that we sent over to planning, but planning made some amendments on their end and sent back a different bill. So we're planning to receive the bill we sent over, and we're planning to work on the bill that they sent back over with that went through planning commission's stuff, and that bill is going to be coming up next.
Thank you very much for that clarification. I asked the wrong question and you gave the right answer.
Okay, with that, the motion is to receive. Let's do roll call.
Councilmember Bolosan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho? Aye. Councilmember Cowden is excused. Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuli'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Opozo?
Aye.
6 ayes, 1 excused.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Proposed draft bill number 2981, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 5A, Hōʻike County Code 1987 as amended relating to real property tax.
Move to approve on first reading, schedule for public hearing on March 11th, and refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
Any discussion or public testimony?
Chair,
With that, I will suspend the rules. Do we have a registered speaker?
we have one registered speaker, Lonnie
Okay.
Psychos.
Mr. Cycles?
For the record, Lonnie Psychos. I read through this bill multiple times, and I certainly understand that the county has numerous issues with the difficulty we're having in getting personnel with the experience and backgrounds for some of the more technical jobs that we have. It seems in this bill, though, that we are accumulating an enormous amount of power within one job position, and the amount of power that we're accumulating, I think, should be for an elected official, not an appointed official. In Section 2, it's unclear what the actual authorities and powers will be. We're told that if you want to get a refund of more than $5,000, that goes through a process, but Section 2, less than $5,000 is by the decision of the person with the authority. It's also, to me, because I'm not a lawyer, ambiguous whether or not this gives authority to change the amount of money that you owe for taxes, real property taxes, without filing an appeal. And so my understanding is if you want your property taxes adjusted or re-examined, that you do it through the appeal process. So we're told repeatedly that there is a process to appeal without filing an appeal. And so we very much would like that to be fully explored and explained in the upcoming review of this bill. And also whether or not this party would be able, if someone came in and said, hey, I don't want to pay this much property tax, whether that person would be able to simply arbitrarily reduce their property taxes. And there's nothing in this bill other than that person has to report to the mayor, but there's nothing in the bill that says the public ever gets informed as to the changes in the collection of the taxes. These are all technical details, but very important ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Not, I'll call the meeting back to order. Any further discussion? Again, this is a first reading. This will come up for a public hearing in March and then come back to the committee for further discussion and more work. With that, roll call.
Councilmember Bolosan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho? Aye. Councilmember Cowden is excused. Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuli'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Opozo?
Aye.
6 ayes, 1 excused.
Thank you. With that, can we have the next item, please?
Proposed draft bill number 2984, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 8, Article 27, Kauai County Code 1987 as amended relating to shoreline setback and coastal protection. This is ZA 2026-1, the Planning Commission's recommendation.
Move to approve on first reading, schedule for public hearing on March 11th, and refer to the Planning Committee.
Second.
Thank you. With that, is there anyone in the audience wishing to testify? Is there registered speakers? Okay. With that, I'll suspend the rules. Mr. Cycles?
For the record, Lonnie Saitos. In the last couple of days, I read through this multiple times. Well, once again, I am very impressed by the output from Kaina and his crew that put all of this together. And my single observation, which I've already made to the administration, is simply that the definition for Malka and Makai should be moved up in the definitions so that the words are defined before they're used elsewhere in this. It's a minor technical detail, but everything else I'm absolutely amazed. I am so grateful that the county has done such a good job of pushing back against the people that have been stealing our shoreline from us. So thank you very much to both the administration and the council. And to our good friend.
Thank you very much. Ms. Diamond?
Good morning, Karen Diamond. Thank you so much for bringing this bill up. I really want to thank Council Chair Raposo and Committee Chair Carvalho for bringing this up, and it strengthens all the existing regulations that we have for our shoreline setback ordinance and reduces exposure to coastal hazards and preserves our critical coastal resources. So all the changes that Planning Commission made were really good, well thought out changes. I support all those changes and urge you to support this bill that will strengthen our shoreline regulations. And thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Aloha.
Anyone else in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, I'll call a meeting back to order. Any further discussion? Councilmember Holland.
I just want to also thank you guys for leading this, and Karen for all your hard work. And it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I'm honored to be supporting this. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I too want to thank everyone for bringing this forward, and especially folks like Karen Diamond and our wonderful planning department. I think it's really important. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Conestero?
Yeah, I'll just say thank you, Karen, for the site visit. That really opened my eyes to actually seeing what was happening. I mean, we always hear about shoreline setbacks and housing, and I think about like Kaua and West Side, and there's usually a highway in between the shoreline and the house, and I'm like, I'm not exactly sure where you're talking about. And you took us out to the North Shore to a certain area, and yeah, it definitely opened up my eyes to where it was happening. You could clearly see what was happening out there. As far as the construction goes, there was a ton of construction out there that I didn't know was going on. Almost every 3 or 4 houses had major construction going on. So, yeah, thanks for bringing it to our attention and working on it so hard. It's probably a thankless job to be working on this. And I know you're doing it all out of your heart, and just appreciate you for all the changes and updates you've made.
Anyone else? Mr. Carvalho?
Just small. Karen, we did a lot of discussion on this overall, and of course, Chair Raposo and everybody else. But this is something we've talked about it numerous times. And Planning Department kind of understands the whole process, of course. And so, just happy with the process and all.
Anyone else? If not, I first want to say thank you to Karen Diamond. Probably the most patient, diligent, resilient, persuasive person I know. And I mean that, because Karen has been working on this for decades. Karen has been responsible for legal challenges that protected the people. And Errol went out, and I was very happy that you were able to get out on that site visit. I had been out there with Karen. I think many of us, if not all of us, have been out there with Karen. And what is happening out there is a disaster. And there is so much abuse going on out there, so much abuse. And it's flagrant and it's open. So thank you, Karen. Then I want to thank Kaina, because Kaina is in a tough spot. He works for the administration, and to be willing to draft this language, this, Councilmember Cavalli and myself, we're introducing this at the request of the planning department. So we take no credit for yes, there were a lot of discussions, and Kaina was extremely open to what we had to say and ask. Karen sat in the meetings. It was a true cooperative effort. But Kaina didn't try to dissuade us or try to take out what we wanted. He accommodated everything that we wanted. And the result is this bill we have in front of us today. This bill will protect our people, will protect our lands. Unfortunately, a lot of the damage has already been done, but that is not a reason for us to give up. So Karen and Kaina, thank you. I am thrilled that it's here today. I was actually beginning to wonder, did this thing float off into space, and are we ever going to see it again? It is important for the public to know that we did receive 2 written testimonies, one from Pacific Resource Partnership, which is a consulting firm that works with developers, as well as the Carpenters Union. And both, while they support the concept, not very supportive of the limitations that we are imposing. The reason I bring that up is because we will need the community to back this bill. That's 2 powerhouses right there. That's going to, push for us to amend this thing. The way it sits today, and we'll obviously have the discussions when we get to the committee, but the way this is set today on this bill will definitely help our lands and our people and the residents that live out there, that's got to deal with these monstrosities and these vacation rentals and all of these things that are destroying the neighborhoods. This will help slow down or hopefully stop that from happening. So thank you guys for all of that. Thank you. Okay. I'll keep it. Kai went out. Remember, we went out together on the first one years ago.
Years ago, and then I actually went with Errol this time as a refresher. The only other thing I would say is that this is really important, and we see the obvious examples there in Haena, but I think if we look closely, there's places all over the island. I was just in Mulawa'a on these small beaches over the weekend, and it was very disheartening to see how all of these giant vacation rentals or whatever they are encroaching on the shoreline so much that you can hardly walk on the beach. And you can tell, too, that the way they've grown the vegetation, mostly in alpaca, right, which is because it's what will grow on the sandy beaches, have grown to the place where the high wash marks go. So we're losing beach. There's a lot of rocky beach, but there's a lot of sandy beach there, too, that they're taking for private use in a way because of how they've developed their properties. And some are being renovated now, too.
And what Kipukai is saying is actually correct, but I want to correct one thing. Grown, artificially grown. They are, it's not growing natural.
Yeah.
In fact, the first time we went Kipukai, I think it was you with me, when they had the irrigation pipes in the plastic tubing in the sand in the beach, we called DLNR to go and do something about it, and nobody does anything about it. That is not acceptable. So they're extending their property line, I say artificially, and taking away our beaches. And that got to stop. Councilor Holland.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate what you guys just said. I want to just also say that, we are so blessed in Hawaii to have these controls that are to keep the beaches and those public areas accessible to the public and the shoreline access. In other places, people can buy the beach to the water line, So people come here and they think that they can do those kind of things, and we have to have these controls in place to ensure that they're not able to just conquer the beach and start to acquire land and grow plants that they know are gonna grow out. So yes, 100% what you guys said, and it's so important that we put our foot down. So thank you guys.
One more thing, in addition to what you just said, Mel,
Go ahead.
just the path, the walking path as well. Sometimes they kind of overuse it, So I think that's another one. We got to, when they park their car, you walk down that area, they should be all open, available toward people so they can access and come back freely without having to have all these things around. So anyway, just want to mention that.
Thank you.
As well. Thank you.
Great point, great point. Anyone else? If not, the motion is to approve. Roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho?
All right.
Councilmember Cowden is excused. Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuli'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Opozo?
Aye.
6 ayes, 1 excuse.
And that concludes the business of today. Thank you all. Meeting adjourned.